Hola Spain lovers, and if you're thinking of visiting Spain or moving to Spain, you might experience a bit of a culture shock. So today I'm breaking down some of the key cultural differences that you'll need to know about before coming to this country, Spain. So let's get stuck into them. Vamos! Now let's talk about physical space and physical touch here in Spain. In Spain, personal space is, how can I say it, a little smaller than in some other countries. For example, when greeting, people often give 2 kisses on the cheek, 1 on each side, even when they're meeting for the first time. Men usually shake hands, but close male friends can also give each other 2 kisses. And male friends that are close will quite often hug each other and give a couple of pats on the back. And this is completely normal behavior. And I'm going to be honest, even after 25 years of living in this country and socializing with a lot of people, I still find this a little bit strange coming from Australia. And we also need to keep in mind that when some people talk to each other, the distance between them can also be a lot closer than maybe you're used to back home. In fact, it's quite common to come across close speakers on a daily basis here in Spain. So keep in mind that your personal space could be invaded on a fairly regular basis. Now, another cultural difference that you might find here in Spain are the late meal times. I've spoken about this topic in other videos that I have done, but I'm bringing it up again today because it is an important topic in my opinion, and lots of people that visit this country and people that move to this country struggle with the late dining times, myself included when I first moved to Spain. And let's be honest about this, Spain has some of the latest meal times, not only in Europe, but around the world too, I believe. A lot of people don't sit down for lunch until 2 p.m. during the week, which is quite late compared to other European countries at least. At weekends, that can be even 3 p.m. And when it comes to dinner, not a lot of people are sitting down to have dinner until 9:30 p.m. during the week, and later at weekends, sometimes 10:30, 11 p.m. Now, there are possibly many reasons why this is the case, why people have such late meal times. Not sure what the exact reason is, but some people in the comment section in recent times have been saying that it's because Spain is on the wrong time zone. Spain is currently on Central European time, but it should be on Greenwich Mean Time, and that could be one of the reasons why people eat their meals later. Don't know, just putting it out there. If you have a theory on this, let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear it. Now, another cultural difference here in Spain that might take a while to get used to is how loud Spanish people can be. Spaniards are passionate people, and that includes how they speak. A normal conversation here in Spain can sound loud and energetic, but don't mistake it for an argument. It's just the way people speak. The atmosphere in bars and restaurants is lively, and silence in public spaces can sound a bit awkward. I remember a story that a Spanish person told me one time. He went away on holiday with a group of friends, around 10 friends I think they were. They went to a restaurant, of course, and Spanish being Spanish, they were very loud in the restaurant. And the owner of the restaurant called the police because he thought they were having an argument. But of course they weren't. It was just the normal way that they conduct conversations, of course, in Spanish. So if you walk into a restaurant here in Spain and you are surprised by the noise levels, don't worry, people are not arguing, it's just a normal Saturday night out. Now, you've probably heard of the siesta culture here in Spain, thinking that people take a nap in the middle of the day, normally between 3 and 5 p.m. Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, and it is that in big cities, people don't have siestas. Yes, some people have a long break for lunch, but they're not normally having a nap during that time, unless it's the weekend, of course. However, it is true that many shops here in Spain will close between the hours of 2 and 5 p.m. And this is when people that work in those businesses get time to relax, maybe go home, have a nice lunch, spend time with the family, because often they're working until 9 or 10 p.m., especially in the retail sector. And also here in Spain, because of the hot weather, especially in the summer months, a lot of people are not getting outdoors until around 6 or 7 p.m. and that's when they start to do their shopping, that's when they start to meet friends. So doing things here in the middle of the day around that 2 to 5 p.m. mark can be a little bit difficult, and it might be something that you need to adjust to. And if you are a person that likes to stay up late at night, you might actually enjoy the siesta culture. Now, another important cultural aspect to keep in mind should you be coming to Spain is that for a lot of people here, family comes first. And let's be honest, in Spain, for a lot of people, family is everything. It's completely normal for different generations of family to live together in the same home, especially in some of the more rural parts of the country. And even if different generations of families are not living together, they normally get together at weekends for family lunches. And again, for me, this was something that was difficult to get used to at first, because every weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, the number one plan for my partner was to go and visit her parents, sit down and have lunch with the whole family. And where I come from, this is less common. In fact, the only times that we used to get together in Australia were for special occasions, not every weekend. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think families spending a lot of time together is a bad thing, but in my case, as I said, it wasn't easy to get used to. So remember, as I said, here in Spain, family comes first for the majority of people. I'm not going to say everyone, but for the majority. Now, let's be honest about this. Spain loves a good celebration, and some of the most important festivals and celebrations in the world are held here in Spain. Think San Fermines in Pamplona, the running of the bulls, in other words, or the Tomatina festival in Valencia. But what a lot of people don't know is that every city, town and village here in Spain has its own local festival every year. And these festivals are not only about fun, they're deeply rooted in history and community. But what this also means is that during the time that these festivals are on, they normally last for around a week, you can't get much done in that particular town. For example, where I live, during the festivals, there are 2 public holidays and everything shuts down. Schools, local services, and as I said, you can't get things done. And don't get me started on the noise levels at some of these festivals. They can be very, very noisy. For example, the Fallas in Valencia is one of the noisiest festivals you will experience in your life. And if you don't like noise and you attend that festival, I recommend you buy earmuffs. So local festivals here in Spain can be fun, but they can also have their inconveniences. But it's not only the noise levels which can be a bit of an inconvenience at some of these festivals around the country. Also, the amount of rubbish left behind can be an issue, and the amount of alcohol that people drink. A lot of people get very, very drunk at these local town parties, and their behaviour suffers as a result. So keep it in mind that every city, town and village here in Spain has a local festival. It might not be everyone's cup of tea. I don't particularly like them, but if it's your type of thing, go for it. Now, here's another thing that you might find unique about Spain, and it is that meals are not just for eating. They're all about spending time together with friends and family. And if you are not familiar with the concept of sobremesa, I'll tell you about it now. Buenos días. So what is this concept of sobremesa here in Spain, I hear you asking? Well, basically it's what happens after those long Saturday and Sunday lunches have finished. People stay at the table, maybe having a cup of coffee, maybe having some other type of drink, another alcoholic type of drink, and they have long conversations. And nobody seems to be in a hurry to go anywhere, least of all home. Now, the length of these sobremesas will vary in different parts of the country. I remember a story from a few years ago. I was in Galicia in the northwest of the country. The meal had finished around 3:30, 4 p.m. and then the sobremesa started. All of these bottles of alcohol came out, were put down on the table, and people were literally still sitting at that table until 8 or 9 p.m. that evening. And then they went out for more drinks. So remember that here in Spain, meals, especially at weekends, are not rushed, so enjoy the sobremesa. Now, another cultural difference you might experience here in Spain is how people dress, or should I say, how well people dress. Looking good for many people here when they hit the streets is very, very important, especially in some of the provincial capitals around the country. Not necessarily in the big cities, you see a lot more variety of dress, but go to some of the smaller cities and towns, you'll notice that people normally dress quite well, even if they're just doing the shopping. That's fairly different to where I come from in Australia. People tend to dress a lot more casually, if that makes sense. You go to a shopping centre and you see people walking around in bare feet, tracksuits on, shorts, t-shirts and things like that, but people here do seem to dress up, especially the older generations. The younger generations are changing a little bit. You'll see people getting around in tracksuits a lot more here than you would 10 years ago, but the majority of the people here, at least the people that I run into, especially at weekends, like to dress up. So if you want to blend in with the locals here, put a bit of effort into your outfit. Now in Spain, there are bars everywhere. Every village and town here in Spain has a high number of bars, and you'll quite often see people in these bars at all times of the day. In fact, Spain, I believe, has one of the highest ratios of bars per inhabitant in the world, but don't quote me on that. But in this country, bars are not just for getting drunk like they might be in some other parts of the world. They're social hubs and are central to everyday life, especially in small towns and villages like the one I'm in here. You'll see people enjoying a coffee in bars, you'll see families sitting down enjoying a meal together in bars, and you'll also see groups of friends out and about in bars enjoying tapas. They're places for socializing, not only drinking. And another thing to keep in mind is that people drink differently here. They don't just set out to get drunk like they might do where you come from. Yes, you will see drunk people here in Spain, especially at weekends when people are out and about partying, and also during those town parties, as I mentioned before, but it's not the same alcohol culture here that you might get in your country of origin. And for me, that's a positive. And another good thing is that there also seems to be less violence associated with alcohol drinking here than in other countries, for example, Australia. So remember, bars are for socializing and not just for getting drunk. Now, if a Spanish person doesn't like something, they'll probably tell you straight up. They're very direct in that sense. Being direct is not necessarily considered being rude, like it might be in some other cultures. People are just being honest. So don't take it personally if somebody gives you blunt feedback about something. It's just part of the culture. And I'm going to be honest, sometimes I prefer blunt feedback rather than people beating around the bush. Don't know about you, but sometimes I prefer that. So there we go. Those are some of the main cultural differences that I think you guys should know about before coming to Spain. Let me know which one has surprised you the most in the comment section below. And if you have any other cultural differences about Spain that you would like to point out, the comment section is also the place for you. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it, thumbs down if you didn't. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because very important that you subscribe to the channel to keep the channel growing. Turn on notifications too, so that you know every time that I publish a new video. Until the next video, hasta luego from Country Spain.